Welcome back to Sissy Maya. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an update. Additionally, consider subscribing to my Patreon to get access to these features, and much more. Clara felt uneasy. Why had Dr. Waxenberg wanted to see Ryan about her stomach issues instead of her? Ryan emerged from his office with a grin. What a relief. Well, she asked. Gas, he chuckled. I always knew you were full of it. She jabbed him in the ribs. You're so cool, so gallant, a perfect knight. If you lived in King Arthur's time, you'd probably say to a damsel in distress, some other time, I've got to tee off. So thoughtful. Ain't it the truth? Here are 2 medications for you. Take them twice daily. Promise. Clara laughed, relieved it wasn't anything serious. You're the silly one when it comes to taking medicine. Ryan's mind drifted back to their honeymoon a year ago. He returned home, smiling at Clara, so young, beautiful, sweet, kind, and loving. Had he ever met a better person? That night, after making love, she asked if something was wrong. Wrong? What a joke. He smiled and teased her, and Clara was satisfied. When she fell asleep, he searched online. Fate had led him to Fiction Mania, where he found a story called The Cosmic Joke, a blueprint for switching bodies. That was his answer. If it worked, it could solve his problem. Somehow, his heart believed it would. The next morning, he called his dad to request a day off from the bank. His mind wandered back to where he and Clara met. She was a teller, he the owner's son. She thought herself lucky, but he knew better. He was the lucky one. She was the best person he'd ever met. At the medical library, he found that devil's root was real, a powerful hallucinogen causing out-of-body experiences. Ryan reread the part he'd copied. It described how a primitive tribe could swap bodies between lovers. From Cosmic Joke. She read further. At least he explains how they say they do it. Listen, there must be a man and a woman who've had fun with each other. Okay, done that. Next, they both must be willing. She stared at him, expecting objection. Okay. Didn't I say I'd do it? I've never backed down from anything, Nathan assured her. Olivia continued, both must take an herb called Devil's Foot, about the size of a penny. Then they sit heart to heart, eye to eye, under a rainbow. It says God creates a bridge between their selves, they leave their own bodies and live in their lovers, breathing, seeing through their eyes. Ah, isn't that romantic? It's creepy. Asterisk. Ryan leaned back. There it was. He believed it would work. If it didn't, he refused to think about the consequences. First, get the drug. Life had taught him that with money, anything was possible. Then he had to convince Clara to agree. She was fun-loving and loved him, so she would. Of course, he wouldn't tell her the full reason. She might hesitate. Next, create or find a rainbow. He prayed the plan would succeed. He approached an assistant at the medical research school. Using the bank's computer, he'd found someone desperate for cash. Ms. Ellis, I'll give you $1,000 for 30 grams of devil's root. She swallowed hard. The money would save her car from repossession and leave some extra. What do you want it for? I hear it's a cool drug for a party. She thought bitterly about rich fools and their pointless pursuits. Soon, she returned with the drug, and Ryan handed over the cash. He hired an assistant physics professor to recreate a rainbow in a cave on his family estate. He hoped his parents would never find out. Clara, I've found something really cool. Clara smiled lovingly at her husband. She'd never forget how he'd saved her from robbers in the bank parking lot, charging at them without regard for his own safety, taking a stab wound defending her. That was when she fell for him. She felt lucky to have him despite their different worlds. His father owned the bank, and she was just a teller. Others had been mean, but he loved her deeply. She was so happy, so cherished. She kissed him. And this being? Clara asked with a playful smile. You know how you say I can never really understand you? Yeah, men are so insensitive. They never truly get women. I can fix that. Let's swap bodies for a month. Clara laughed. Why not? What a cool idea. Oh Ryan, be serious. She kissed him again. He was so funny, a great joke. I bet we can do it. If we can't, I'll clean toilets for a week. She playfully slapped him. You're on. I just hope it works. Then you'll discover a few things. You'll love heels and periods. Hey, but I'll be beautiful, he said, trying to keep things light. He couldn't let her suspect his real motive that would ruin everything. He remembered the dream from last night. Reaper and he were locked in a fierce duel, swords clashing as he desperately blocked Reaper's cold strikes. The storm tossed the ocean violently against jagged rocks that gnawed at him like monstrous teeth. He woke trembling, and Clara had comforted him, wisely reminding him it was just a nightmare. You'll find being beautiful isn't so easy either. I can picture you smearing lipstick all over my face. The teasing sparked a playful excitement between them. Clara admired Ryan's cleverness and creativity. I'm so lucky to have him as my husband, she thought, smiling at how she'd beaten out all the other girls to win him. Everything was falling into place. Ryan was close to his goal. Only one move left. As they walked toward the cave, he thought how good it was that Clara had no close family. He heard her chatting happily, giggling at how silly his idea of swapping bodies sounded and how impossible it seemed. Yet, against all reason, he was sure it would work. Soon he'd be in that lovely body, and she'd be in his. He forced a smile at his sweet, loving wife. It might be hard for her, but... They reached the cave where he created the rainbow effect. Wow! It's beautiful! Clara exclaimed. Ryan, ever the romantic, knew she wouldn't want it any other way. Valentine's Day was a month away, and he always gave her a wonderful surprise. They sat facing each other, Clara laughing and blushing, Ryan forcing a smile and joking. Don't forget, you're still doing the toilets, she said triumphantly. Okay, but if this works, you have to promise me something. What's that? Clara laughed, sure it was a harmless promise after all. Bodies couldn't just be swapped like shoes. That no matter what happens, you'll never tell anyone that we switched. I don't want us to look ridiculous. Okay, I promise. Ryan sighed in relief, hoping she'd keep that promise. He gave each of them a dose of devil's root, and they locked eyes. It was hypnotic. Neither could look away. Clara felt dizzy. Her head swam, the world becoming hazy. Her lover's brown eyes loomed large, as if ready to swallow her whole. Her pounding heart was the only proof she was alive. No sight, sound, taste, smell, or touch. That heartbeat felt like it might burst through her chest. Something was wrong. The drug had done something, but what? She trusted her husband. Then the fog lifted, and she stared into blue eyes. Not brown eyes, but blue, her own, not Ryan's. Ryan felt a rush of triumph. He was staring into brown eyes, his own, while Clara's beautiful blue ones looked back at him. He had won. Let Reaper grind its teeth. He had won. Strange to see his old face staring at him, slack-jawed in surprise. Poor Clara never imagined it would work. She was too intelligent to believe such a thing. But Ryan had faith, and it had paid off. He wasn't going back. Never. For now, deception was necessary. Well, Miss Know-It-All, what do you say now? He teased, speaking with her voice. Strange. Determined, he vowed to make the coming month entertaining. Unbelievable, she said in his deeper voice, reaching out to touch her own body, now housing Ryan's soul. Maybe now you'll believe your husband, he said, adopting Clara's smug tone. I'd believe you if you said up was down right now. It was surreal hearing herself speak with Ryan's voice, even if it sounded odd to her own ears. Seeing her beautiful face smile mischievously at her, was there a hint of triumph? Ryan awkwardly stood on what were now her feet. I feel so damn small. Clara stumbled on what were now his feet, bumping her head on the cave ceiling. Ouch. That hurt. Want mommy to kiss it better? Ryan teased. Very funny. Clara laughed despite herself. This was going to be fun. They returned home. Got another surprise for you. I don't know if I can handle any more surprises, Clara said, eyeing the stunning woman who used to be herself. A week in Hawaii. Our honeymoon cottage. It's our first anniversary, remember? Clara hugged Ryan. That's so sweet. Then laughed. I wonder how you'll like being the helpless female while I'm the strong, domineering man. Flushed with triumph, Ryan grinned. Let's find out. He dashed toward the house in his new, sexy body. But first, you have to catch me. Clara's desire surged as she watched the gorgeous woman run away flirtatiously. She thundered after her, amazed by the speed, power, and strength of this new body. The girl was easy to catch, giggling and pretending to be scared as she was carried upstairs to their bed. Later, they lay quietly, each thinking, wow, that was different. But different is good. They savored their second honeymoon. The new Clara made sure they shared all the details about their swapped lives. After a week, Ryan was confident he could pass as Clara, and Clara as Ryan, without raising suspicion. I just hope Clara keeps her promise, Ryan thought, watching those beautiful new curves bounce away. The sight stirred him, and he pulled his wife back into bed. Clara was overjoyed, especially when they returned home and Ryan grumbled through her period. Now Ryan was moaning and promising to be more understanding. Clara found it amusing. Even my in-laws are fooled, they think I'm their son. At work, Clara took on Ryan's role as VP at the bank and did better than expected. I'm smarter than I thought, she decided. It was funny how Ryan had become the housekeeper, technically losing the bet and having to clean toilets. That was a win. It felt great to be treated with reverence by the very women who had made Clara's life miserable when she was a junior teller, constantly fighting over Ryan. Clara took quiet pleasure in subtly getting back at them. Being Ryan was fun, but she missed her female body and asked when they'd switch back. At the end of the month, Ryan said, lying with her soft voice. The spell requires us to stay in these bodies for a month. He brushed against the male form and smiled, noticing Clara's growing excitement. You can't tell me you're not enjoying this. Clara breathed heavily, carrying Ryan to their bedroom. No, I can't say that. As their month together neared its end, Clara noticed Ryan seemed troubled by her stomach issues, but he shrugged it off. I need to watch my diet better. But your rep is shot. I nearly cleared out the ladies at the country club today. Bet your name's Mud. Clara laughed. Ryan was so funny. The night before their switchback, Clara found Ryan drunk and dressed her former body in a stunning evening gown. He'd prepared a wonderful meal and raided the senior Parker's wine cellar for a bottle 3 times their age. It was so romantic as they made love that night. On Valentine's morning, Clara woke and called for Ryan, no answer. Strange. She searched the house but found no sign of her wife. A chill ran down her spine as she saw most of her clothes missing from the closet, along with 2 packed suitcases. Had Ryan gone somewhere in her body? Why hadn't he said anything? Then she spotted a videotape labeled Play Me. Curious and nervous, Clara inserted it into the VCR. Her borrowed heart pounded wildly. What was happening? A chill gripped her. Had Ryan stolen my body? Impossible. He loves me, doesn't he? Doesn't he? Ryan appeared on the screen in her body. Clara, trapped in his form, felt terrified. Ryan smiled sadly. Please don't hate me. I had to beat Reaper. I couldn't let that bastard win. I lied about the medical report, it was terminal. There was no hope. But I had to find a way to cheat Reaper, to keep him from claiming you. Then I discovered this spell, the body exchange. I tricked you, sorry, but would you have agreed otherwise? He laughed bitterly. I doubt it. Though now in a man's body, Clara was crying. She finally understood why he'd hidden the truth about her health. When I learned you were dying, I refused to accept it. I loved you too much. Reaper wouldn't win. I wouldn't let you go. You're more precious than life itself. So I found this spell and tricked you into swapping bodies. You'll live, and I'll die, but I feel victorious. I can now laugh at Reaper and say, Reaper, where is your sting? Grave, where is your victory? You'll live, and gladly I'll die so you may live. Don't hate me. No man has made a more willing sacrifice. I have no regrets. I know you won't accept this easily, but don't feel guilty. I chose this freely, with joy, and wouldn't undo it for the world. You are my world. I've never been happier than waking in your body, knowing I've won, that I've beaten Reaper and that you, my dearest love, will live. Please remember your promise and tell no one, especially my family. Spare them pain. Accept this gift of life I've given with all my love. Don't try to find me, I don't want us both to suffer. Let me die knowing I've won. I left a note in your handwriting explaining that Clara Parker, aware of her terminal illness, chose to spare her husband and friends grief and would die alone. The medical reports are in the envelope. Everyone will believe it. Clara sobbed uncontrollably, barely hearing Ryan's last words. No one has ever won a greater victory or been so happy. I love you and always will. Don't forget to join me on Patreon for exclusive content,